Good afternoon. Tony Dottino here, the founder of the USA Memory Championship, and just wanted to give you a quick update. MIT is going to be, in fact, has posted on their YouTube channel the events of November 10th. So any of you eager to see those events that we conducted on November 10th at MIT for the Tournament of Champions for Memory is now available on the MIT YouTube website. It will be coming over to the USA Memory Championship website in a few days. We're now going through the logistics of how to make that happen. So how we get it from that website to ours and on the MIT, it's coming through the McGovern Brain Institute. So you might have to go MIT McGovern Brain Institute to find it. I'm trying to get more details on that for us. But in the meantime, there's a brief health article in the current issue of Time magazine that just verifies all the things that we've been talking about here with Live with Tony. And it talks about taking care of your cognitive health. And we've been talking about these things over and over again, and there's one new piece that they bring in here, but the ones I wanted to cover with you in their article talks about all of us want to be cognitively intact. The good news is there are factors that can be modified, meaning there are things that we can do. This is the good news, right? We're finding we can be more preemptive in our mental health than we ever thought that was possible. Changing lifestyle habits can go a long way. We drink a lot sometimes can not be good. We damage parts of the brain involved in memory and decision making. Smoking is perilous. God, we've heard a lot about smoking. It impacts the lungs. Anything impacting the lungs impacts the brain. And prioritizing habits like exercising and eating nutritional meals can increase the likelihood that when we reach the 70s and 80s, we'll be able to summon important memories and engage in activities that we continue to develop through our 20s, 30s, and 40s. Even if you're in your 20s, when you're doing what you do now, will help maintain better brain health throughout your whole life. So this is not something they're writing about here in the Time magazine article that just is applying to what you do when you get to be 50 or 60 and say, oh my goodness, I got to focus on mental health. It's something, if you're any concern about your well-being and your mental fitness, cognitive fitness, then obviously these are some things that we've been talking about that you can do at any age. So let's start off with exercising. Your entire body benefits if you work out a few days a week. And that includes your brain. Now, who thinks about exercising? We think of cardio, right? We think of our form and our weight. But research is now suggesting that exercise improves cognitive processes in memory. It increases the thickness of your cerebral cortex. And it's like, wow. Which is responsible for language, thinking, and emotions. We learn more and more about the benefits of exercise and brain health. Even in patients who have mild dementia, engaging in exercise 3 to 5 times a week is beneficial. And engaging 3 or 5 times is 30 minutes. Now, there's all different kinds of things they talk about in exercise. You have muscle building exercises and muscle, just continue to keep them strengthening. Bands are good. 3 or 5 pound dumbbells are fine. Exercising in aerobic, so go out and take a walk at 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, God, we should all be able to take a walk after dinner, before dinner, or sometime during our day. If you're very active in your work, your construction worker, well, you've already got your exercise every day. A tradesman, plumber, carpenter, electricians, I mean, you are already doing a lot of your exercise as you are during the day. But it's good for your mental fitness long term. Rest up. Not getting enough of sleep is a key risk factor. Research suggests that people get 6 hours of sleep or less per night or are going to be in trouble. I love these people, especially when I was going to college, with 5 or 6 hours and off you go and you're dragging your butt around all day long. But that's going to have a long-term impact. So getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night is really important. Suggest improving your sleep hygiene by taking steps to avoid caffeine and alcohol, limiting your naps, and putting away your electronics before bedtime. Would just be some of the suggestions that this article is suggesting from the Rush Institute of Medical Centers. How about challenging your mind? And this is why MIT was so interested in this year's Memory Championship, because of the research that they're now uncovering that exercising your brain, challenge your mind, is also very good. What about video games? Rather than pursuing or focusing on one item, they recommend a diet of intellectual activities. Asking a nutritionist, what should you eat a healthy diet? The answer would be carrots, more carrots than only carrots. No, exercise your brain in a variety of ways, just as you feast on lots of different snacks and meals for your nutrition. So now when you think about what exercises for your brain, playing different games, and strategy games are really great. So if you're in the family game business, putting some strategies together with games. Pictionary is probably one. Charades, different party games. Oh God, there's one that I'm trying to remember that we play all the time with the letters and how you make words and how many words you can make, and ones with numbers. And so there's different games that we can play, crossword puzzles, jigsaw, ballroom dancing. So challenging your mind. Now, ballroom dancing is a challenge to your mind because you have to remember the steps. So not only are you coordinating using your physical movements and things, but you're also thinking and remembering the steps of what you have to recall and be able to follow the order of the step. Especially if you're doing a tango or a ballroom dance like the waltz. Boy, you got a lot of action to go, and you got movement, and you got a partner, and you don't want to step on their feet. You certainly want to lead them into a wall. So there's a lot of things going on to challenge your mind. Remembering names and faces, remembering strings of numbers. How do you learn the skills of linking, connecting, and associating the different mnemonic techniques that are mental exercises that are totally healthy for you and they're really good for you to learn and do. Next is eating like you're vacationing on the Italian coast. Now, that simple translation, the Mediterranean diet. It emphasizes fruits, veggies, whole grains, nuts, fish, seeds, and healthy fats. We've tried over the years to put this together, so says the professor from the Yale School of Medicine. It could be the omega-3s in the fish or the vitamin E in the nuts, but what appears to be most impactful is the style of eating and the emphasis on whole foods. That's W-H-O-L-E. That's not H-O-L-E food. It's W-H-O-L-E foods. So the foods we eat, the nutritional habits that we have are very, very important. And so all of this has an impact. The foods we eat generate the chemistry that goes up into our brain that basically controls the electrical pulses and the firing of your neuronal pathways. So whole foods are an important thing. And then managing chronic stress. We know that stress is not a good thing for us. It creates a high level of toxins in our body, and therefore you don't want to have chronic stress. You don't want to be doing something that's constantly stressing you out and pumping up your adrenals and flooding your body with cortisol. And that then has an impact on your blood pressure and your cholesterol. And so it's essential to keep these under control. They can damage blood vessels in the brain and increase the risk of stroke and dementia. In one study, people who had hypertension in their 40s to 60s had a 6.5% steeper decline in cognition. That's why it's important to get your numbers checked regularly and to work with your doctor to establish regimentations for how do you manage stress, how do you manage high blood pressure, how do you manage your cholesterol, and how do you minimize your risk of diabetes. And so if to recap, right, you got exercise that you're doing in various forms, aerobic, anaerobic, and flexibility. Exercise your brain. We'll put that into challenging your mind. So now number 2 is challenging your mind and exercising your brain. Getting the right amount of sleep and realizing that we can develop some bad sleeping habits. They're just habits, and we can change those habits given our focus and our desire to do so. Our nutritional habits are important, and what are we doing in terms of the whole grains that we're eating, the whole foods that we are eating, and then, as I just said, managing stress, blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, all can be ways to improve your mental health. And we put that into the package of preemptive things that we can do at any age, which is why mental challenges that we teach and work with in the USA Memory Championship are becoming more and more beneficial to people as they learn what those are and they utilize those activities, and we get them to go use them in everyday life. So we are off to another week. Monday, off we go. Have a good week. Thanksgiving is coming closer and closer. Football is in high gear in week 11. College basketball has started, so we've got lots of activities we can go, and I suggest walking should be one of your activities as we go about the fall season and get ourselves to Thanksgiving and Christmas. Have a good evening, have a good week, and we'll see you Wednesday.